After being reborn, my 3 older sisters could actually hear my inner thoughts. Should I tell my eldest sister, Lu Ruyan, that the male lead she is caring for with all her heart will eventually swindle her out of her entire fortune? I saw her tremble slightly as she held his hand. Should I tell my second sister, Lu Rushue, that her eyes will be intentionally blinded by him? I saw her jump as if pricked by a needle while sitting beside him. And as for my third sister, Lu Ruyun, if she knew that the latter half of her life would be spent in a vegetative state because he hired someone to run her over, would she be sad? I watched as she, who was currently feeding him, suddenly dumped the bowl of rice over his head. How contradictory. Should I tell them that his rescue was a calculated move to destroy the Lu family and pave the way for the woman he truly loves? The male lead is our family's beloved butler, Lin Yong. Carrying a mass attraction system, he accidentally saved my 3 villainous sisters, turning them into loyal dogs by his side, eager to offer him every resource they possessed. In my past life, I tried to block his plans at every turn to protect them, but it only earned me their hatred. My eldest sister, a cold CEO, froze all my cards and kicked me out of the house. My second sister, a gentle doctor, secretly swapped my medication, leaving me in constant agony. My third sister, a famous star, chose to hide my identity and stood by as her fans attacked me online. The last time I saw the 4 of them was in a dilapidated rental room. I sat in a wheelchair, wearing filthy, grease-stained clothes. Lin Yong, meanwhile, wore a high-end suit he could never have afforded before. My 3 sisters surrounded him like he was a star. He glanced at me with disdain and said, "For the sake of our past friendship, if you apologize today and call me brother-in-law, I'll forgive you and take you back to the Lu house. How about it?" Call him brother-in-law? Is he even worthy? He was the one who turned me into a cripple, disfigured my face, and shamelessly crawled into the Lu family just to destroy us. Sadly, no one believed me. They all thought I was just jealous of Lin Yong and brought this misery upon myself. I gritted my teeth and spat in his face. "You think you're worthy of being called brother-in-law? You might as well kill me. One day, your mask will slip." Before I could finish, I was struck by a powerful slap. The force was so great my teeth felt loose and my ears rang into silence. I struggled to open my eyes and saw my eldest sister standing there, her expression cold and disgusted. She frowned as if she had just seen something nauseating. "Lu Zhixing. If you don't know how to keep your mouth shut, I won't hesitate to tear it apart." I clutched my face, teeth clenched. "Sister. Sister." She cut me off again. "Don't call me sister. From the day you framed Lin Yong, you ceased to be our brother." Those words were like a sharp knife stabbing into my scarred heart. My vision blurred. I tried to speak, but my throat was parched, unable to make a sound. My heart began to ache again. I clutched my chest, gasping for air. TSK, my second sister had cut down on smoking, yet she relapsed because of Lin Yong. She approached me, took 2 steps, and pressed a burning cigarette but firmly into the back of my hand. Ignoring my muffled groans of pain, she pointed at my chest and mocked, "Lu Zhixing, your congenital heart disease probably stems from having such a black heart. I don't think it needs curing anymore." The pain sent me tumbling from my wheelchair, nearly suffocating me. My third sister slowly crouched down to look at my gaunt, frail frame, her brow furrowed slightly. "Are you playing the pity card? Do you really think pretending to be miserable will earn our forgiveness? Let me tell you, you're overthinking it. Besides, it seems you haven't learned your lesson." Her words were loaded with hidden meaning. I knew exactly what she was implying. Just because I had insulted Lin Yong once, she allowed her fans to viciously harass me. Some even stalked me, pushing me out of my wheelchair and watching me crawl on the ground in front of my room. They threw dead rats at my door until the landlord, unable to take it anymore, kicked me out. In the end, I could only rent a shack near a garbage dump, a door without a lock. Without medicine, even breathing became a painful ordeal. I lay slumped on the floor like a dying fish, my body covered in wounds, my consciousness fading. I tried to recall happy moments, but nothing came. My sisters ignored my cries for help, turning their backs with a frustrated curse. How unlucky. I opened my mouth, but I had no strength left to struggle. This was already my second rebirth. I had calculated every step carefully, yet I still couldn't overcome the male lead's halo. This world is a harem novel, and Lin Yong is the protagonist. To ruin the Liu family, he constantly paved the way for his beloved woman. My three sisters were the major villains of the story, but they fell for him at first sight. Saved by him, they cast everything aside to become his lapdogs, handing over all their assets. When he was kidnapped, they were even willing to take a knife for him. One became a cripple, one went blind, and the other ended up a vegetable. To save them from that fate, I risked my life to expose his true motives, but in their eyes, I was just a jealous brat. Ultimately, I went from the young master of the Liu family to an outcast, disfigured, crippled, and humiliated by everyone. No matter how many times I am reborn, Lin Yong will always hover around them, stealing the place in their hearts that once belonged to me. I knew that when I opened my eyes, everything would start over. But this time, I am tired. When I opened my eyes, the shock hadn't worn off. The filthy shack had turned into a warm, bright living room. Soft yellow light shone on the dining table, which was set with exquisitely prepared dishes. A familiar voice sounded beside me, slightly sulky. "Zhixing, why aren't you eating? Is my cooking not to your taste? I'm sorry, I didn't know you disliked this. Tell me what you want, and I'll cook it for you." My pupils contracted. It was Lin Yong's voice. At this point in time, he had already become my friend and had saved my sisters several times. Rumors were starting to spread that he was the lucky charm of the Liu family. He was no longer wearing a servant's uniform, but high-end designer clothes I had gifted him. With his arrogant air, he looked more like the young master of the Liu family than I did. Right now, his face was full of grievance. A grown man, biting his lower lip as he spoke, I asked Aunt Lin. She said seafood is your favorite. If you won't eat, is it because I cooked it? Rest assured, I followed Aunt Lin's instructions step by step. The play had begun. I didn't respond, which made him act anxious. "Zhixing, why are you ignoring me? Do you hate me because I come from the slums? Do you think I'm dirty?" I tried to speak, but only meaningless sounds came out. I reached up to clutch my throat, forcing myself to say something. I was terrified that if I upset him, my sisters, who loved him to the point of madness, would use it as an excuse to torture me. But I couldn't utter a complete sentence. My eldest sister's gaze drifted between me and him, deep and inscrutable. "Liu Zhixing. Is this how a member of the Liu family behaves? Regardless, this is a gesture from a Yong. Even if you don't want to eat, you must." I looked down, a cold laugh echoing in my heart. These three only had eyes for him now. How could I dare despise him? After all, he was about to become the new master of the house. What right did a future cripple living in the slums have to look down on him? To an outsider, it would seem he was their biological brother, so fiercely did they protect him. I forgot, he wasn't their biological brother, he was their soul brother. Does anyone even remember I'm allergic to seafood? My life didn't seem to matter anymore. Strangely, the atmosphere at the table suddenly went dead silent. The three women who had been laughing just moments ago turned cold and stopped talking. I forced myself to swallow the nauseating seafood piece by piece, suppressed the urge to vomit. I turned to him with a forced smile. My eldest sister, who had been acting stern as if someone had poked her secret thoughts, turned pale as she watched me finish the plate. She started to stand up, reaching out tentatively. "Xiao Xing." My second sister, Lu Rushue, signaled her to be quiet and then turned to me gently. "Xiao Xing, are you feeling unwell today? Let me check on you, I am a doctor after all." In my last life, she was the one who prescribed my heart medication, and she was the one who eventually cut it off. She watched me suffer in pain, having long forgotten that I was once the brother she loved most. I stood on the stairs and looked back, my face hidden in the shadows. "It's just an allergy, I won't die. I'm truly tired, don't torment me anymore. Do whatever you want with me, I accept it all." Lu Rushue froze, her face turning white as she whispered, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to forget you were allergic to seafood." Not on purpose. The apology sounded both clumsy and ridiculous. I didn't want to play along anymore and turned away without a second glance. As long as Lin Yong was around, I knew I would always be the outcast. So, I let go. A knock at the door pulled me from my chaotic thoughts. Lin Yong was back, this time looking dejected. He knocked rhythmically, his voice thick with tears. "Zhixing, what's wrong? Did I make you unhappy? I'm sorry, please don't ignore me. Aren't we best friends?" His words sounded pitiful, but I heard another voice echoing in my head. It was still his voice, but the words were the polar opposite of what was coming out of his mouth. "System. What is wrong with Lu Zhixing? He's been doing all these things that aren't in the script. Now those sisters think I'm bullying him, and I've lost 10 affection points." Immediately after, a cold, mechanical voice replied, "Rest assured, Master. I have checked. Their affection level is still above 50 points. The deduction is within manageable limits." I felt a chill as if I had fallen into an icy abyss. The cold spread from my spine to the back of my neck. Those voices again. In my past life, when I was framed by Lin Yong, I spent a brief period in a coma following a car accident. During that time, I often heard him communicating with that mechanical voice right next to my ear. I heard them plotting to take down the Lu family, turning them into a stepping stone for Lin Yong. When I woke up, I immediately sought out my eldest sister to tell her everything, but no matter what I said, I only received her cold, disgusted stares. Lin Yong stepped out of her private lounge looking like a scheming villain, yet his voice was soft. "Ruinjie, Zhixing was probably just confused when he did those foolish things. It's okay, I forgive him." My eldest sister's expression grew increasingly harsh at the sight of Lin Yong's patience. She scolded me sternly, "Lu Zhixing, how did you become like this? Staging an accident to frame a Yong failed, so now you want to slander him to my face? A Yong was so worried that he cared for you the entire time you were unconscious, constantly telling me not to blame you." I don't remember much of what followed, only that from that moment on, I was truly abandoned by the Lu family. My small suitcase held only a few simple clothes. It was pouring rain outside, yet my eldest sister's expression remained unchanged. She heartlessly pushed me out, watching as I stood there, drenched and filthy in the downpour. She spoke with utter contempt, "Lu Zhixing, if you cannot accept a Yong, the Lu family will no longer recognize you as our young master. Without that title, what do you think you are?" Recalling this made my whole body tremble. What game was Lin Yong planning to play now? I didn't need to guess to know he wasn't alone outside that door. I didn't care who he wanted to please, it had nothing to do with me. Regardless, I was leaving the Lu family soon. Realizing I couldn't avoid him forever, I took a deep breath and opened the door. Lin Yong stopped mid-knock, showing no embarrassment. He reached out to grab me, but I stepped aside. "Zhixing," he drawled, his eyes surreptitiously glancing behind him to where my third sister, Lu Ruyun, was standing. "Just tell me what's wrong, don't ignore me anymore, okay? Aren't we best friends?" In my previous life, he only acted kind toward me when the three sisters were present. That performance just now was nothing more than an act for Lu Ruyun's benefit. Lu Ruyun remained silent for a long while before finally speaking, but it was to defend Lin Yong. She looked at me, her eyes filled with a deep, hidden anxiety. "Zhixing, I heard from our sisters that there's been some misunderstanding between you and a Yong lately. Weren't you two very close before? You have no idea how many times he has cried behind your back because you've been ignoring him." She sighed, looking as though she were worried for my sake. "I know a very famous psychiatrist. If there's something you don't want to tell our older sisters, you can tell me. How about I take you for a checkup tomorrow?" I didn't respond, only sneering inwardly. She didn't understand a thing, yet she was already rushing to send me to a psychiatrist. It made sense. In their eyes, anyone who didn't like Lin Yong must have a psychological problem. When they let their fans attack me online, why didn't my third sister worry about my mental state then? She probably just wanted an excuse to vent her anger on Lin Yong's behalf. Better yet, lock me in a mental asylum to get me out of the way. Lu Ruyun suddenly stiffened, her face contorting. She looked at Lin Yong, then at me, and finally down at her own hands with an expression of disbelief. "Zhixing, did I do something wrong? Please, don't hate me anymore, okay?" Vigilance flared in my eyes. I shook my head and quickly shut the door. Once it was closed, I heard a thud followed by Lin Yong sobbing, "Ryunjie." The system suddenly shrieked, "Danger. Female supporting character Lu Ruyun's affection level has dropped to -10. Affection has fallen below 50. Master, please find a way to increase it immediately." "Don't call me that." Lu Ruyun's voice sounded dark. "Those two stupid sisters of mine might be fooled by you, but I am not. You had better provide a rational explanation, or else I won't hesitate to." I couldn't hear the rest. They had likely walked away. I didn't bother with my third sister's inexplicable change. Given the way they protected Lin Yong, I knew the outcome would be exactly like my past life. It was only a matter of time. Whatever he wanted to do to the Lu family was no longer my concern. To me now, nothing was more important than staying alive. I rarely returned to the Lu house anymore, while Lin Yong's presence there grew more frequent. Fearing further trouble, the Lu family kept all information about me hidden. The outside world only knew the family had a young master with poor health since childhood who was heavily pampered, but no one knew his face. By now, Lin Yong had practically solidified his seat. He never bothered to correct people when they asked, merely offering a faint, silent smile. In the eyes of others, this was a tacit admission that he was the young master of the Lu family. My roommate, He Jun, glanced at me mockingly. "Lu Jixing, why aren't you hanging out with a Yong lately? You were riding in the Lu family's car at the start of the semester. Why have you stopped playing with him? Can't even sit in the family car anymore." I glanced at him and went back to organizing my books, ignoring him. But He Jun acted as if I'd touched a nerve, slamming his phone down as his game character died. "A Yong doesn't even care about you anymore. You can't even cling to the Lu family anymore, so why keep pretending?" Sitting beside him, Lin Yong looked uncomfortable and gently pulled He Jun's shoulder, whispering, "Forget it, He Jun, doesn't everyone already know Jixing hates me? I can't force him." He Jun chimed in, "I'm just annoyed by his arrogant attitude. He used to follow you everywhere, and now what is he acting like?" He Jun lowered his head, his thoughts unknown. A moment later, he looked at me with resentment. "I want to see how long you can keep up this act." With that, the two of them left. Before the door closed, Lin Yong turned to look at me, his eyes full of calculation. I heard him ask the system again, "System, who has the highest affection level right now?" The system replied, "Currently, the highest level belongs to the eldest sister, Lu Ruyan. You must act quickly, 60 points is still too low. You need to raise it to 80 within a week, or you won't be able to foresee future developments." I remembered that in the upcoming plot, my eldest sister would run into trouble while signing a contract and get stranded at sea. Lin Yong would be the one to save her, and that was when their romantic relationship would begin to build. But what did any of that have to do with me? I shook my head and packed my things for the library. But on the way, I noticed strange looks directed at me. People were pointing. The forum said it was him, right? Yeah, that's Lu Jixing. I heard he used every trick to cling to the Lu family but failed, so now he's cut ties with Lin Yong. How disgusting. I saw him so close to Lin Yong before, now they don't even speak. Exactly. If your friend started flirting with your sister, would you still want to talk to him? Talk about thick-skinned, he had a good path but chose to be a parasite. I lowered my head, intending to ignore them, but a voice made me stop. Lin Yong had appeared near the library again. For some reason, he kept trying to follow me. He stepped forward and grabbed my hand, refusing to let me leave. "Jixing, don't listen to their nonsense, it's all a misunderstanding. They don't believe you, but I do." He spoke that way, but he only repeated subjective emotions and never provided evidence of my innocence. Those around us only saw his kindness, but no one said I hadn't actually done the things I was accused of. What a thief-crying thief game. My silence only made everyone think I was tacitly admitting it. The insults from the crowd didn't decrease, they intensified. Lin Yong looked at me with an even more pitiful expression, tears welling in his eyes. Here we go again. Aside from playing the emotional card, did Lin Yong have no other tricks? I just wanted to escape this situation, but I couldn't shake his hand off. Suddenly, his system issued a warning. Warning. Female lead Lu Ruyun is approaching. Master, please maintain character, do not lose any more affection points. Lin Yong's expression changed instantly. He pretended to protect me, his voice much louder as he tried to clear my name. Everyone, stop talking about Jixing like that. He isn't that kind of person, you've all misunderstood him. I sneered. With that tone, anyone would think we were best friends. Not only had he stolen my sisters, but he was also protecting me like this, truly too kind. I looked down with a faint smile, my eyes landing on my reddened wrist, and I instinctively frowned. Lu Ruyun's voice rang out from the edge of the crowd, he is not that kind of person. Despite wearing a hat and sunglasses, her perfect figure was impossible to hide. Immediately, her obsessive fans recognized her and cheered, is that Lu Ruyun? Yes, it's her. She must be here to stand up for Lin Yong. After all, her brother was deceived by Lu Jixing like that, and yet he still insists on being best friends. Wow! She's so beautiful. If only I talked to Lin Yong more, maybe he'd help me get her autograph. The noise was relentless. As the person at the center of it, I felt like a mere bystander. When would this play finally end? Hadn't Lu Ruyun come to defend Lin Yong? Why was she just standing there? Hurry up, come over here, push me down, and scream at me. Lu Ruyun frowned. Amidst the shock and curiosity of the crowd, she walked straight toward Lin Yong. Then, third sister Lu Ruyun handed the bag of pastries in her hand to me, the one standing behind Lin Yong. Her voice was filled with doting affection. Jixing, I've been so busy with my schedule lately that I haven't had time to visit you. Are you settling in at school? Or would you like to move into my apartment near the campus? Here is some coffee I bought for you. I was in such a rush today that I couldn't wait in line at your favorite shop. I'll make it up to you next time, okay? The entire crowd suddenly went silent. Even Lin Yong's face turned sour. I remained cold, not even bothering to reach out for the coffee. What game are you playing now? I get it. You want to use the same old trick to make everyone at school misunderstand our relationship so they'll bully me, right? Lu Ruyun, don't you get tired of using the same tactic over and over? I recalled the pain that ran deep into my bones, the feeling of being constantly scrutinized. Sure enough, whenever Lin Yong was involved, nothing good ever happened to me. My body shook as I thought of the terrible things to come. Lu Ruyun's face darkened, and she shouted angrily, what are you all talking about? What do you mean, Jixing seduced me? From beginning to end, the Lu family has only ever had one young master, and that is Lu Jixing. Lin Yong is just a servant in our house. How did he become the eldest son of the Lu family? Lin Yong's system blared with reports that Lu Ruyun's affection for him was in a freefall. Finally, Lin Yong began to panic. He had assumed that given her pity for him, she would never expose his status as a mere servant. But now, everyone who had just been hurling insults at me turned their malicious gazes toward Lin Yong. His face went pale, his expression contorting as he shrieked, so what if I'm a servant? I earn my own money through hard work, unlike people like you who were born with silver spoons in your mouths, getting whatever you want just by reaching out. But even so, you have no right to trample on my dignity. It's true my family isn't as wealthy as yours, but I am never inferior to any of you. Lin Yong's outburst left everyone stunned. Even third sister looked somewhat guilt-stricken. Sensing the opportunity, Lin Yong feigned misery and fled the scene. The system immediately reported that Lu Ruyun's affection had jumped by 20 points, returning to 50. Once word got out that I was the true young master of the Lu family, people's attitudes took a strange turn. He Jun even admitted his mistake on the post where he had slandered me. It was all because I believed Lin Yong's lies that I posted that. All that vague evidence was provided by him. I was used by him, and I hope Lu Jixing can find it in his heart to forgive me. I sincerely apologize. Immediately, the number of people condemning Lin Yong grew. They called him greedy, fake, and unscrupulous. People like Lin Yong would preach about self-reliance one moment, only to burst into tears of rage when his job was mentioned. If he truly didn't care about the difference in status, why didn't he clarify things the moment people mistook him for the Lu heir? Sadly, I didn't pay much attention to the forums. I only knew that eldest sister Lu Ruyun called me, her voice cold as she demanded I return home immediately. I didn't need to think twice to know she wanted to defend Lin Yong. I hesitated until sunset before finally knocking on the Liu family's door. The scene before me instantly triggered my final memory before death in my past life. Lin Yong sat in the middle of the three sisters, tears streaming down his face. It was that scene again. Third sister Lu Ruyun looked the most hesitant. She made a move toward me but ultimately chose to stay by Lin Yong's side. Zhixing, you've gone too far this time. I went too far? I didn't even know what I had done. It was Lin Yong who refused to clarify his identity and secretly incited others to fabricate stories about me being a parasite. From beginning to end, had I ever said a single wrong word about him? Had I ever even defended myself once? That was just it. They likely thought I had engineered all of this to frame Lin Yong, but no one cared that, because of what happened in my past life, I had lost the ability to speak up. Looking at the disgusted expressions of the three people before me, I stopped right at the doorway, refusing to take another step. This Liu household had long since ceased to have a place for me. Third sister Lu Ruyun's expression shifted. She looked as if she had just realized something and rushed toward me. Zhixing Yu. Lin Yong's system emitted piercing warnings. Warning. Female supporting character Lu Rushue's affection has dropped to -10. Warning. Female supporting character Lu Ruyun's affection has dropped to -10. The affection levels of second sister Lu Rushue and third sister Lu Ruyun continued to plummet. Only eldest sister watched me with a pensive, unreadable gaze. Seeing things take a turn for the worse, Lin Yong rushed to grab Lu Ruyun's arm, tears rolling down. Sister Ruyun, you know I'm not that kind of person. At the Liu house, what I value isn't money, it's you and your sisters. You are my real family. Perhaps my existence is a threat to Zhixing, so he. Before he could finish, second sister interrupted coldly. Oh? You didn't come to the Liu house for money? Who would believe that? If you truly didn't care for money, why didn't I see any dignified refusal when Zhixing gifted you designer clothes and luxury cars? Though third sister was a good actress, she was slow to react. It was only when second sister pointed out the hole in Lin Yong's words that third sister understood, her face flushing with rage. Exactly. If you didn't care, why did you insist on clinging to Zhixing and demanding to ride the family car to school? When people mistook you for the Liu heir, why didn't you explain? Don't say you don't care. The truth is you care about it to the point of madness. In that moment, the affection of those two practically hit rock bottom. Lin Yong turned deathly pale, his only recourse being to cling tightly to eldest sister. Lu Ruyun looked at him with a gentle gaze, softly stroking his hair. Yong, don't be afraid. As long as you've done nothing wrong, I will stand by you. So, don't let me down. Lin Yong leaned close to eldest sister and threw a defiant look my way. Even if second and third sister's affection had hit the bottom, the true power in the Liu family rested with eldest sister. As long as he held her heart, what did he have to fear? The position of master of the Liu family would surely be his. Inside his mind, Lin Yong frantically called out to his system. Even though Lu Ruyun and Lu Rushue's affection is gone, I want to use the last of their points to exchange for plot details regarding Lu Ruyun. The system hesitated. Master, are you sure? When affection drops into the negatives, it becomes a completely different concept. These supporting females will turn to absolute hatred toward you. Lin Yong replied without hesitation. What can two supporting females do? No matter how much they hate me, they won't cause any major waves. Exchange it now. Ding. Plot point exchange successful. Plot details regarding Lu Ruyun are now unlocked. In half a month, Lu Ruyun will encounter an accident at sea during a contract signing. Master can plan ahead to save her. This is a golden opportunity to completely win her heart. A triumphant smile appeared on Lin Yong's face. I understood his intentions clearly and only offered a cold, faint smirk. Well then, I wish you luck in saving eldest sister with your system's help. I'm sure she'll fall deeply in love with her savior. Perhaps you can even use it as a condition to force her into marriage. When that happens, a man who wants to destroy the Liu family will become its son-in-law, marrying the eldest sister while secretly carrying on with the second and third sisters. What a grand blessing for the Liu family. Congratulations to you all. With that, I locked my heart away, wishing only that they would leave me alone. I didn't want to be a part of their game anymore. Eldest sister gave me a look so complex I couldn't decipher it, but I guessed she wanted to kick me out just as she had in my previous life. It just wasn't convenient to say it this time. Taking the hint, I packed my own bags and left the Lu house. This time, I took everything that belonged to me, including my money, which I had transferred to a new card, so I wouldn't have to suffer in a dilapidated room like before. Second and third sister visited me frequently, though I couldn't tell if it was out of guilt or another performance. Their eyes were full of pity. Second sister would spend time talking to me as if she were teaching a child to speak, but when she saw I wouldn't react, she would leave sadly. Third sister offered multiple times to take me to a doctor, but I only shook my head in refusal. Half a month after leaving the Lu house, I received an invitation to a painting exhibition at sea. It was an exhibition by my favorite artist. Without much thought, I packed my things and set off. But when I boarded the ship, I discovered the exhibition area was pathetically small. Most of the space was dedicated to wealthy merchants' entertainment. There, I saw eldest sister and Lin Yong. He stood beside her in a dapper suit, looking dignified as if he had anticipated my arrival. A mocking smile played on his lips as he spoke to the system. If it's a plot point, someone has to die. So why can't that person be Lu Zhixing? If it weren't for being born into the Lu family, what would he be? At least his death will serve as my stepping stone. Eldest sister saw me too, her brows furrowing as if she had a bad premonition. She turned to Lin Yong as if to question him. By the time she turned back, I had vanished into the crowd. Lin Yong's vicious voice echoed in my ears. Lu Zhixing, enjoy yourself. Let's see who gets the last laugh. I sighed, wanting to curse him but not knowing where to start. I knew his motives weren't pure, but I didn't expect him to be this reckless. Just by standing in the crowd looking at paintings, he managed to kidnap me. When I regained consciousness, I found myself hanging like bait over the side of the ship, only 2 or 3 meters above the violent pitch-black sea. Beside me was Lin Yong, in the same predicament. Seeing me wake up, he hastily shed a few crocodile tears. Sister Ruyan, Zhixing is awake. Save Zhixing, my life isn't worth anything. The man in the suit standing next to Lin Yong said in a low voice, well, Lu Ruyan, are you ready to make a choice? One is your biological brother, the other is your lover. Who do you want to save? By this point, how could I not see through Lin Yong's scheme? He simply wanted to use my eldest sister's choice to break my spirit. Unfortunately for him, he miscalculated. From the moment I died a tragic death in my past life, I had let everything go. This familial bond was no longer worth it. I didn't care who she chose. I only cared about whether I would survive. Eldest sister hesitated for a moment before slowly pointing toward Lin Yong, her voice stern yet pleading. Let a Yong go. He is innocent. She cried out, her voice filled with desperation. Hearing this, the man in the suit burst into laughter. Ha ha. Unbelievable, Lu Ruyan. In the end, you're sacrificing your own flesh and blood to save an outsider. It seems I didn't misjudge you. He gestured for his men to pretend to loosen Lin Yong's restraints, but in reality, they severed one of the ropes holding me. My remaining rope was on the verge of snapping. The man looked at me coldly. Did you think I wouldn't see through your besiege way to rescue Zhao tactic? You're only pretending to care about Lin Yong because you're afraid I'll hurt your brother, right? Lin Yong chimed in, maybe those are her true feelings. Rather than saying she cares about me, it's more that she doesn't dare gamble with your whims, fearing you'll harm me. The man shook his head with a smirk. Fine then. They'll end up escaping anyway, probably hugging and kissing on a lifeboat later. Instead of empty threats, why don't I just give Lin Yong a slash? Maybe then Lu Ruyan will actually cry. Eldest sister's expression shifted several times before she finally compromised. Don't you want the bidding rights for the South City project? I'll withdraw, just let him go. Lin Yong instinctively assumed she was talking about him, his eyes welling with moved tears. Sister Ruyan. The man waved his hand again. Lu Ruyan, do you think you're in any position to bargain? The South City land isn't enough. I want the recent joint venture project between the Lu and Qi families too. I was stunned. That was a secret project that Lin Yong would later betray. How did this man know to demand it now? It seemed many things had changed outside the script I knew. Even Lin Yong hadn't expected this man to be so greedy. This was entirely different from what they had agreed upon. He had only intended to use the Liu family as a stepping stone to enter high society, not cause them massive immediate losses. Lin Yong coughed twice to warn the man, but he was immediately silenced when another rope was cut. The man glared at him threateningly. "What are you coughing for? Didn't you provide me with this information? Now you don't want me to speak." Lin Yong was completely paralyzed with shock, panicking so much he forgot he was dangling in midair. He scrambled to explain, "What nonsense are you talking about? I never said that." He desperately winked for help, forgetting that when you plot with a tiger, you must have the strength to match it. Otherwise, you merely become an appetizer. Cooperation, contracts, everything he held meant nothing to these powerful men. It was a pity he couldn't see that, thinking that with a system and foreknowledge, he could manipulate everyone. A powerful wind rose, and large waves rocked the ship. The already frayed rope finally snapped. Lin Yong screamed in terror, "Sister Ruyan, save me." But what he witnessed was eldest sister lunging toward me. His eyes widened in shock, and even I was stunned. She wrapped her arms tightly around me, using her own body as a cushion to take the impact of the fall into the ocean. She struggled to hold on to me, searching for something to grab as the salty seawater flooded our mouths. Despite this, she gasped out words of comfort, "Zhixing, don't be afraid. I'm here." I was bewildered, unable to understand what play she was acting out. I silently cursed in my head, "Stop pretending. Now isn't the time to be hugging Lin Yong and calling him a Yong." Eldest sister's face stiffened. Fortunately, the rescue team I had contacted beforehand arrived quickly. Even so, when I was pulled onto the lifeboat, I was shivering violently from the cold. She handed me a warm coat before looking toward those struggling in the distance. Lin Yong wasn't so lucky. As soon as he hit the water, a massive wave pushed him dozens of meters away. By the time he was rescued, he was struggling to breathe and in terrible condition. Once back on shore, the man in the suit, who hadn't intended to commit murder, yelled in a rage, "Who called the police?" I glanced at him and gave a soft huff. Who else but me? From the moment I knew Lin Yong had ill intentions, I had prepared. Hearing the conversations between him and his system, though I didn't know the full plan, I had guessed enough. Before boarding, I had alerted the rescue team and the police, ensuring no villain would escape. Eldest sister looked at me, seemingly wanting to smile, but remained silent. Looking at the unconscious Lin Yong, her expression was hard to read. She ordered her subordinates, "Take him to the emergency room. Hopefully he won't die, but he doesn't need to live particularly well either." Lin Yong didn't die, of course, but due to the prolonged exposure to freezing water, his health was severely compromised and irreparable. His plan with the man in the suit went beyond kidnapping and extortion. It was intentional bodily harm. With the Liu family applying pressure, no one escaped. Everyone was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Eldest sister even took me to visit Lin Yong. Unsure of her intent, I followed quietly. Through the thick glass, I saw that he had withered beyond recognition. He still believed she had come to save him. "Ruyan, why did it take you so long to rescue me? You're too late. A Yong is in so much pain." He sobbed pathetically. "Please, Sister Ruyan. It was Liu Zhixing who incited me before. It was all his trap. He was sure you would believe him, so he played that trick of not defending himself." She looked at him and laughed coldly. At this point, pretending is meaningless. Lin Yong's face went pale as he frantically cursed the system in his head. System. Wasn't Liu Ruyan's affection level at 80? Why is she treating me like this? The system's voice was almost a stutter. System malfunction. Female lead Liu Ruyan's current emotion is 80. What is happening? Why has her affection dropped so sharply? This shouldn't be. Lin Yong panicked and wept, unable to believe the system's data, screaming her name. After all, she was the only one who could save him. But Liu Ruyan remained indifferent to his turmoil, saying sternly, "It seems your system isn't as omnipotent as you thought. Even pretending can be a deception. Both Lin Yong and I changed expressions simultaneously, looking at her as if we'd seen a ghost. I knew he had a system because he had been reborn and could hear the thoughts of others, but how did she know? The source of this surprise had no intention of explaining. She just looked coldly at him. "You wanted to get out, didn't you?" "Well, the corporation has reached a partnership with a national laboratory to study the human brain. Someone with a system like yours will be a perfect subject for research." No matter how much Lin Yong struggled or begged to stay in prison, it was useless. He was fitted with a head device, wrapped like a mummy, and taken straight to the lab. I was forced to move back to the Lu house. Once away from Lin Yong, my 3 sisters seemed to have woken up, competing to be kind to me. Yet, I could never find a sense of belonging in that house again. Second sister was very busy with the lab work. Occasionally, she would bring the latest news about Lin Yong. We thought the system was a vague existence, but they actually found something in his head. Second sister said mysteriously, "Guess where the system is?" Third sister asked immediately, "Where?" Second sister tapped her head. "Right in his brain." Initially, during the scans, we thought the shadow in his mind was a disease, but it turned out to be a block of data we currently cannot decrypt. Once we succeed, creating a similar system won't be a problem. As for Lin Yong, he's a wreck now. His body couldn't handle the intensity of the experiments, so the lab has completely abandoned him. As long as his brain stays active, the system remains. Eldest sister eventually told me many things. She confessed that after I moved back to school, she remembered her past life. It turned out she was like me, a regressor. By hearing my thoughts, she learned about the system within Lin Yong. Fearing I would use extreme methods for revenge, she decided to use the opportunity to capture both him and the system. Second and third sister also acted differently from the original script because they could hear my heart. Finally, eldest sister looked at me as I held my suitcase, her face gaunt. "Zhixing, do you really want to go abroad?" I stopped at the security checkpoint and nodded seriously. Regardless of Lin Yong's punishment or my sister's realization of their mistakes, the pain I endured could not be erased. I couldn't ignore those horrific memories, nor did I want to force myself to pretend everything was fine just to live as a carefree young master. Instead, I would go abroad to study and pursue my dream of being an artist. For my sisters, waking up from Lin Yong's plot and realizing what they had done to me was perhaps the most cruel punishment of all. After all, their real brother, the young master of the Lu family, had already died at their hands in the previous life. The person I am now must leave. Hearing me say this, eldest sister was stunned. When I realized my words weren't for justification or pity, my speech impediment gradually healed. This was the first time I spoke clearly in front of them. I walked through the checkpoint toward the blue sky and a brighter future. I didn't look back. The moment I decided to leave, I had completely let them go. Goodbye. I will no longer be your brother. I am myself. The story ends here. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Tom Storytime YouTube channel to support more exciting stories. Goodbye and see you again.